What is up, everyone? I am back here with some more Dark Souls Remastered, continuing from last night. We got pretty far into the game last night, and I believe that we should be able to finish things tonight. I have quite a bit of free time tonight, so yes, if things go well, I definitely think we should be able to finish the game off, and even if things don't go too well, I still think that we should be good to finish this game. Because I know all of the, I know the layout of every location, I know generally where to go, what to do, so it's really just a matter of my own skill and luck, so let's get going. So firstly, we're going to have to switch back to our hard leather boots because my guy's not powerful enough to wear the knight pants quite yet, which is what we're trying to get in the last stream. In the last stream we just finished off Sif, came over here and leveled up, and now at this point I think we're good to start moving toward the 4 main bosses where we need to get the 4 main Lord Souls. So for that, I think we're going to make our way, we're going to teleport to the Firelink Shrine and head down to Blighttown so that we can make our way to the Demon Ruins, because I've lit the wrong bonfire in the last stream. So instead of warping there, we're going to have to go through Blighttown a second time, unfortunately. But with how strong we are at this point, it shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. It really isn't difficult in the first place. It's just, I don't know, the environment and just Blighttown in general just isn't a great place to be. Sometimes you have to do what you must do, whether you like it or not. So head through here past the New Londo Ruins, one of my least favorite areas. Although, while we're here, the Crestfallen Knight who's in Firelink Shrine, pretty sure he's right here. Pretty sure this is the end of his quest line, if you really want to call it a quest line. So we'll go ahead and take him out, which is always unfortunate and sad. Rest in peace, my friend. Curious to know how he passed, because he really didn't make it that far, or maybe he went all the way into the New Londo Ruins and was making his way back here. Not too sure, but it's unfortunate nonetheless what happened to our main man. Though I guess he wasn't too nice of a guy, he really was not confident in our skills. But you can't really blame him. You can imagine how many undead warriors he's seen run through or run into the Firelink Shrine and completely fail, never to be seen again. So yeah, I can't blame him too much for having no confidence in us, but oh well. He met an unfortunate and untimely fate. So yeah, just gonna speed run our way through Blighttown again so that we can get to the Demon Ruins, which is a lot of people say that at this point in the game Dark Souls really goes downhill, and they feel like these areas in the second half of the game are sort of unfinished and that they're rushed. And maybe they are, but I don't know, I kind of disagree with that sentiment because I really enjoy the second half of the game. Most of the second half of the game, and especially the Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith. I actually like those areas. I really don't think they're too bad, except for the Bed of Chaos at the end. That is the most irritating boss. I don't know if I'd say it's the most irritating boss, but it is definitely up there. With the amount of times I've just been knocked completely across the map, or swept into the abyss, into the void. It can get really irritating, but I usually don't have too much trouble with the Bed of Chaos on my on the initial playthrough. It's usually New Game Plus 2 where she does so much more damage that it's incredibly hard to deal with. The physics are pretty terrible as well. But anyway, we'll head over here, grab this bonfire, just in case. I doubt we'd die on our way over to the Demon Ruins. But you never know. I really don't want to go all the way back through Blighttown. Take these guys out. They look very intimidating, but they're really not that difficult to deal with either. Really, if you go through Blighttown, in the direction that we just came through, it's not a difficult area at all. It's mostly the if you go through the normal way, that's absolutely atrocious. I mentioned this in the last stream that I have never gone through Blighttown in the regular through the regular pathway that most people go, and I have no desire to do that either. Alright, so probably will be the last time that we head through Blighttown, thankfully. You can sprint through Quelaag's. I guess this is kind of like her coffin now, because she will forever rest here after we took her out. Yeah, finally get that other bonfire lit so that we can warp back down here if we need to in the future. The bell has already been rung. And yeah, so something I really love about this area is how they use bosses from earlier in the game, but they repurpose them into regular enemies. And some people think that it's lazy, that's a lazy thing, but it really isn't. It's just cool world design, because these creatures aren't, like, there's not just going to be a single one of these creatures in the entire world of Dark Souls. Hold on, let me talk to this guy. Yeah, Dark Souls is a world. There's not just going to be a single, there's not just going to be a single Tauros demon. There's not going to be just a single Capra demon. It's a world. They're an entire species. So it makes sense that there'd be, countless of them down here in the Demon Ruins. Anyway, welcome to the stream, Firewolf. Glad to have you here. So yeah, last stream we got through the first half of the game, made our way through Anor Londo, took out some of the side areas, and now we're gonna go through the Demon Ruins, Lost Izalith, and take out the other 3 areas with the other 3 Lord Souls as well, such as the Catacombs, and then the area under the Catacombs, which is probably my least favorite area. The amount of times that I've gotten stuck there in the past when I was younger playing this game, just because it was completely pitch black and I had no idea how to get one of those lanterns. Yeah, it definitely wasn't fun. That was a roadblock earlier in my Dark Souls career. Speedy and thick. Yeah, Ornstein and Smough. When I originally played Dark Souls, it, no exaggeration, took me 30 to 40 attempts to defeat them. They're such a frustrating boss. Yeah, anytime I'd get close to taking one of them out, the other would just knock me across the arena with their hammer or something like that. Eventually you get the hang of it though, but yeah, it can be really irritating. Ornstein and Smough are the first true challenge in the game. I think thankfully we're pretty leveled up, so these guys should not be too much of an issue. Like I was saying earlier, I love how these guys become regular enemies here, because it's kind of like one of them. It's really strange and interesting, because it's like one of them climbed all the way up and somehow got stuck in like the regular normal world. Curious how that happened. Yeah, well, no, yes, absolutely is fun pancaking people. I love the overhead sweeping attack you can do with the Zwei handler. It's pretty overpowered. You can really cheese enemies with it, especially the lizard guys. And these guys as well, as you can see, get staggered just from a single attack. Yeah, I usually go with melee builds just because of how much just because of how used to it I am, but yeah, it could be a cool change of pace to go with a magic build. Gravelord sword, I have not used that because I've played this game so many times, and every time I usually use either the Zwei handler or I use the Black Knight halberd if I'm lucky enough to get it. If I do get the Black Knight halberd, I can just completely blow through the entire game, which some people aren't satisfied with, but I still enjoy the game regardless of what weapon I use, because I do love the difficulty of Dark Souls, but my favorite aspect is just exploring and being in this dark, fucked up world. Something I also like to do when I come back to this area after I've beaten the game a few times is stand up there and just knock all of these guys out with the Dragon Slayer Great Bow, because it freaking mauls them across the temple, and it's just pretty satisfying. But even without the Dragon Slayer Great Bow, they aren't too difficult to take out. And in Dark Souls 3, it's really cool to see how there are all of these Tauros demon corpses and Capra demon corpses everywhere, just kind of showing how the world has evolved and has creatures that are so much stronger than the ones in Dark Souls 1, that most of the creatures from the first game are extinct at that point. I'm going to be careful here, not let this guy take us out. Of course, he attacks right when I... grab the spawn fire, and just like that, we're already almost at the first boss. Yeah, that is completely true. Regardless of what you do, the world of Dark Souls is completely fucked. Not necessarily a good ending in the game. It's not a good ending in the first game, the second game, or the third game. And if you don't really know that much about the lore, the ending can be pretty anticlimactic as well. Usually in the first game, I go for the Link the Fire ending. Hold on. Oh my god, I just realized that I made it through... I made it through Anor Londo, but I didn't actually place the Lord Vessel. So I can't even go in there and battle the demon quite yet. Well, I guess we'll make our way back to the Firelink Shrine and head down to place the Lord Vessel. Lordran is fucked either way. Yeah, I was saying in the last stream too that the first time I played Dark Souls, I passed here after going through a good amount of the game, and I saw this guy and he scared the shit out of me because I thought he was some sort of boss or enemy that appeared here. So I went up there and I like plunge attacked him. Then I figured out that he was an actual NPC, but when I heard him grunt with a humanoid voice after I plunge attacked him. Thankfully it didn't make him aggressive or anything either.
No, I'm fine. Well, wide awake. Not treat me like an old withering snake. Ah, hello. Was it you who rang the bell of awakening? I am the primordial serpent, King Sika Framt, chosen undead. I witnessed.
Yeah, I recently did a platinum playthrough on the PlayStation 5 too, and so I had to get both endings, and that was the first time that I ever met the other serpent and kind of did his quest line and got the Dark Lord ending. Well, I guess you don't actually have to meet the other serpent to get the Dark Lord ending. You can, as long as you leave and don't link the fire after defeating Lord Gwyn, then you can get the Dark Lord ending. But I still needed to discover the Covenant. It's like the Abyss, the Covenant related to the Abyss. I still needed that for the achievement. This isn't always an epic cutscene to see too. As long as you have cool armor on, because sometimes I'll be here and I'll just be a half-naked, hollow corpse guy. But I feel like so far my guy looks pretty cool. Pretty badass. Yeah, that pisses me off that I forgot to place it. 'Cause I felt like... yeah, I guess I didn't realize it because I figured you didn't have to place it because one of the 4 Lord Souls is with the 4 Kings. However, you can get to the 4 Kings before placing the Lord Vessel because that's how you'd meet the other serpent. So I guess because of that, I figured you could go to the other areas as well.
Very well. As King Sika, the path I am then.
Okay, but now that I'm settled in, now that we have that taken care of, we can really quick head back to the Demon Ruins and make our way back to the Flaming Asylum Demon. It's pretty cool how in Dark Souls 3 you can find her corpse too. I love how Dark Souls 3 expands on the first game in so many different ways. People say that the third game relies too much on fan service, but it's not really fan service, it's just building on the world because it's a sequel. So a sequel to your previous game should have a lot of references to the game and expand on the world of Dark Souls, which is exactly what the third game did. Having a lot of old stuff return, but also having a lot of new stuff, and sprinkling in some more subtle things as well. Yeah, last playthrough, we also did take out the guy, giant guy who's up there, because He's pretty easy because of how incredibly long his wind-up attacks are. And you can actually run away from him and he'll chase after you. And once you get to this certain point where there's a cliff, he'll jump off the cliff, grab onto the ledge, then you can just hit him a couple of times and he'll fall off. Which I actually did not know until I streamed this game about 10 months ago, and a viewer told me about that. Let me check something. Alright, I was just looking at your comment because it disappeared quick on my screen, but yeah, Dark, glad you started out with the first game, because the first game is the perfect point to begin the series, because a lot of the later games have a lot of references to the first game that you wouldn't really get if you started with them. And yeah, Dark Souls 2, I do think it's a good game, but it is a lot different than the other games. Like, Dark Souls 2 almost could be called like something else because it's so much different than the other games. Dark Souls 3 is more of a sequel to Dark Souls 1 than the second game is, because the second game kind of takes place in a different land. Then the third game goes back to the land from the first game, but thousands of years later. Yeah, that's a really phenomenal series, and definitely worth experiencing. Well, yes, a lot of people do start with Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, and that's because Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring has the most refined gameplay just because of how much experience. Oh my fucking god, I didn't rest at the bonfire. But yeah, so Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring have the most refined gameplay just because of how much experience they had. You know, because at that point they had made Demon Souls, they had made Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne. And those are really fantastic games, and you could probably start out with Elden Ring first. But Dark Souls 3, even though gameplay-wise, it's actually my favorite game in the series, and gameplay-wise, I would definitely say it's the best. But yeah, there are so many references to the first game in Dark Souls 3 specifically, with it being essentially a direct sequel, that yeah, it would be unfortunate to play it before playing the first game. And yeah, Sekiro, they did make Sekiro as well, but Sekiro came out after Dark Souls 3, but yeah, it did come out before Elden Ring, so with Elden Ring, they're even more experienced having with Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro. And yeah, they did implement some stuff from Sekiro into Elden Ring. Yeah, good to start off with the beginning, although I would recommend skipping past Dark Souls 2 and going straight to Dark Souls 3, and then you could go back to Dark Souls 2, just because, like I was saying, Dark Souls 3 being more of a sequel to the first game than Dark Souls 2 being a bit more separate. But you could also just go straight to Dark Souls 2. It doesn't really matter too much either way. However, whatever order you'd like to go about taking on the series. I think I'm going to start using a shield. Dark Souls 2, the creator, or the director, Miyazaki, of all of these games, was working on Bloodborne, while From Software worked on, like I guess you could call them the B team, worked on Dark Souls 2. So a lot of the issues with Dark Souls 2 stems from that. But at the same time, Dark Souls 2 is still a fantastic game. I just would say it has a lot of issues that the other games do not have. A good example to kind of show what I mean by that is how Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 both have around 20 bosses. I think Bloodborne has around 20 bosses as well, whereas Dark Souls 2 has 41 bosses, which kind of shows you how, you know, the quality control of each of those games. And Elden Ring obviously has more bosses than that, but Elden Ring's is kind of a different genre with it being an open world game, so it makes sense that it has so many bosses. I'm gonna go ahead and equip a bow so I can get these guys' attention more one by one. And actually, I remembered earlier in the game I used all of my arrows, so we're not gonna do that. And it's unfortunate that this weapon, this Y-handler, is in Dark Souls 3, but with how much the gameplay changed to a much faster pace in Dark Souls 3, this weapon is pretty useless in that game, because it's way too slow. But in Dark Souls 1, I would say it's arguably the best weapon in the game, not counting the Black Knight Halberd. Because that sweeping attack, it's actually not really that effective against these guys. The sweeping attack isn't. But it's definitely effective against the majority of the enemies. And it has a lot of strength. Probably has some of the highest strength in the entire game. It definitely does, actually. To be able to get it straight away, too, makes it a fantastic choice. Okay, one more of these guys. Let me see if I can parry him. It was not a parryable attack. That's pretty crazy that they don't even know what Bloodborne is, with it being such a huge From Software game. But I suppose Elden Ring really exploded the series into a seriously mainstream game franchise, because, you know, Dark Souls has always been a really big series and a really popular series, with Dark Souls 3 selling over 10 million copies. But Elden Ring exploded to such an insane degree that it's like it sold 12 million in its first week, which already outsold Dark Souls 3, which already sold incredibly well. But 12 million in a week is like, that's all-time numbers right there. So yeah, I bet a lot of people tons of people who had never played any Souls games, or people who don't really play too many games, but maybe play a couple here and there, really got into Elden Ring too. It's just incredibly mainstream at this point, which I'm glad. Really glad that the Souls games are becoming a lot more well-known, and the From Software is going to have absolutely pretty much an unlimited budget for any games they want to make in the future, and whatever they do make in the future is going to sell like wildfire now. And yeah, Elden Ring did win Game of the Year, and I completely agree with it, because it was such a different game. And it really innovated on the open world formula that had been getting so stale as of late. So, you know, you just have your standard Grand Theft Auto clones with maybe a change here and there or you know, your standard fantasy open world game. Alright, I'm gonna concentrate against this guy. Yeah, I'm not sure either, because I think 2015 was the first year that the Game Awards existed. Yeah, I'm not sure if it appeared. Yeah, this guy's absolutely kicking my ass right now. I think we might go for a different weapon against this guy, because the Zweihandler is a bit too slow. I saw the weapon I was going for where he got over to me. He got to me too quick. Oh yeah, I think we're going to use the Crystal Halberd against this guy. Probably not going to survive this battle, though. Oh man, yeah, I'm used to having such an overpowered weapon when I fight against this guy, because usually I get lucky enough. I'm not sure if you know about how you can get the Black Knight Halberd pretty early on. It's essentially you can find this Black Knight and he has a small chance of dropping the Black Knight Halberd, which is such a crazy overpowered weapon that you can really breeze through the whole game with it. And yeah, I got lucky enough to get that drop. I've gotten it 3 or 4 times, so a lot of the times I beat this game I was pretty overpowered, but I have played it a lot with just the Zweihandler and more standard weapons too. So we'll give this another go. Yeah, this halberd is a lot better. Perfect, he did that 3 times in a row. He's dead. He is dead. Ah, fuck, that was pretty intense. We took him down. I did such a shit job in that first fight. Anyway, though, yeah, it's an awesome story for how you got into Dark Souls with it being such a random chance that you actually stumbled across a series with it coming with that Xbox. And yeah, definitely a incredible game to have on the console to start off. Yeah, I played it on the 360 too. I was actually introduced through Demon Souls because whenever I was at my babysitter's house, to her son's room, and he had Demon Souls around when it first came out. And he was telling me how they were making Demon Souls called Dark Souls. So I bought Dark Souls day 1 and played it for so long, and I really didn't make it that far in the game because I was 10 years old when Dark Souls came out. But yeah, I've had a lot of experience with the game, so say Dark Souls 1 is my second favorite game of all time, only behind Dark Souls 3. Yeah, that is unfortunate because Demon Souls is pretty great too. I actually have never beaten Demon Souls fully, but I do own it on my PS3, and I do own the PS5 version, which has absolutely insane graphics. Pretty sure we were supposed to go down, by the way. Oh yeah, because there's a boss immediately after that. Really hoping though that the people, Blue Point Games, who remade Demon Souls, if they remade Dark Souls, and I saw Dark Souls 1 with those graphics, I think I would probably cry, quite honestly. That would just be crazy to see. Which I was really hoping when Dark Souls Remastered was initially announced, I was hoping it was going to be more of a Demon Souls-like remake, or at least more than Dark Souls Remastered ended up being, because essentially Dark Souls Remastered really is just a port, and they changed like one or two things, gives some quality of life improvements, but it's really just a port of the game. A little disappointing, but at the same time I am really glad to have it ported to other consoles. They just probably shouldn't have called it Dark Souls Remastered. So they didn't really remaster that much. Alright, we're gonna pop a humanity, become human, and get Solaire's help with this boss, because this boss can be really irritating when you're just by yourself. So, yeah, actually. Did I not reverse my hollowing? No, I did not. Guess I was distracted thinking of other things. Yeah, Dark Souls Remastered does have some glitches. Actually, when I recently platinumed it on the PS5, I used a glitch where you can duplicate souls. So you could get like a soul of a hero, then you can duplicate it and have 99 of them, and that would obviously give you a crazy amount of souls. So I was able to level up to like level 800 or something. So some of the more annoying things you had to do to platinum the game were a lot more manageable. You have to get so many specific random weapons, and you have to farm a lot of enemies until their weapon finally drops, things like that. Then you have to get all of the boss weapons, and probably the worst thing that I had to do was you have to go to the Painted World, and the boss in the Painted World, you have to cut off her tail, but it's such a precise, like the frame for the tail is so precise, and I usually ended up killing her before I could actually cut off the tail. So that was pretty frustrating, but I eventually did get it. All right. This guy can really be irritating because of the arena, how tiny the arena is. It takes so long to get over here sometimes, and then when he does get over here sometimes, he'll spam his attack where he jumps 100 feet in the air. So we'll see what he does this time. Looks like right now he's kicking the shit out of Solaire. Oh my god. Thank God I have invincibility flames there. Oh my god, Solaire is not having a good time. Looks like I do a lot of damage to him, at least. Yeah, I do a crazy amount of damage to him. Hopefully he doesn't kill me. Alright, perfect. That actually went so much smoother than I thought it was going to be. Had much worse. I struggled more when I was level 800 with the glitch I used on the PS5 than I did in this fight here. Go ahead and put on that ring. Unfortunately, we'll have to take off Havel's ring. But whenever we're not on this lava, we'll just put Havel's ring back on. And Solaire, there he is, relaxing right after our fight. I've summoned Solaire for every fight that you can summon him for so far. Except, actually, I don't think I did for the Bell Gargoyles on this playthrough. So we'll go ahead and level up each of these 3 stats. These are the only 3 stats that I level up in Dark Souls 1, just because they're really the only ones that contribute to a strength build. Holy crap, yeah. Dark Souls, the amount of times I have raged at this game, and I've broken so many of my controllers from a few different games. Definitely Dark Souls has contributed to that. Thankfully, I've never broken a TV. I've played it on my laptop and I smacked the screen one time just because it really gets absolutely infuriating, but yeah, I have definitely broken. At one point I broke every single controller that I owned. So yeah, I'm not really a person who gets mad at anything. I'm extremely calm, but when it comes to video games, they can definitely piss me off, and it only happens when I'm alone too. If I'm streaming or if I'm around somebody else, then usually I really don't rage that much or get that mad, unless I'm just joking around, kind of. When I'm by myself, though, yeah, I rage pretty bad. But I can only imagine, like, after you threw the controller at the screen, I can only imagine, like, the when you came to the realization of what you've done after the rage wore off. So after my rage wears off and I've broken something, I'm always so disappointed that I did that.
Wow.
Rest here one more time just to make sure. Then we will head through the lava to the next bonfire. Especially when the first time I ever was fighting against Ornstein and Smo. That really made me rage, because after you fight somebody 30 times, then you die in the exact same way for the 30th time, it really gets irritating. Buy another $600 TV so you can continue playing. That's a fantastic idea. May cause you to break your electronics, but it's worth it. It's such a great series and a great game, and just an amazing all-around experience. Yeah, I had to go buy a new controller so I could keep playing Dark Souls 2, and then I could throw that controller at the wall. Well, funnily enough, I bought the Xbox Elite controller. And that controller has survived so many, like, I've thrown that controller across my room full strength. These fucking guys probably gonna kill me here. What the fuck was that shit? I don't even think I could have done anything there. He just stomped without... He didn't stop. He stomped without stopping a single time. But anyway... Yeah, the amount of times I've thrown the Elite controller full force across my room is, let's just say it's a lot. And every single time it survived. The only damage that it's taken is that, I have to plug it in while I'm playing with it now. It can't be used wirelessly anymore. But aside from that, the controller does work perfectly fine. Every other controller I've owned, though, besides my most recent controller, I got like the all red Xbox controller. So besides that one, which is my newest one in the Elite controller, I don't have any other controllers because I destroyed them all. Then there's this one controller that I bought used. Yeah, I bought a used controller from GameStop. And it did this thing where the controller would turn off, but the actual light in the controller would still be on. So the only way that I could reset the controller was by taking the batteries out the back. And it happened so many fucking times that I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just threw it across the side of my bed, which has this really hard section, and shattered it to pieces. And that's the only time that I actually wasn't disappointed in breaking a controller, because that one pissed me off too much for too long. Yeah, though, when I haven't truly raged at a game in a long time, because just like you, I really don't like raging like that, so I usually turn it off if I start getting that pissed off. I either turn it off, or I really don't play that many difficult games like Dark Souls. If I'm playing other games, I usually like story games or RPG games, like kind of like Final Fantasy 15. I love that game, and when I do play those games, I put them on the easiest difficulties. I'm usually playing them just to have fun and just to experience the storyline. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. The smears. Yeah, I have some of those on some of my controllers too. I have a white smears. I have a white smear on a PS4 controller, but when I traded in my PS4 Pro, I traded in that controller with it. So I didn't really need the PS4 Pro now that I did manage to get a PlayStation 5. I would keep it for collection purposes, PS4 Pro, but once the PS5 becomes a lot more common, PS4 Pro is going to lose most of its value. So I figured that I could sell the PS4 Pro while it still has a lot of value, and then if I really wanted it for collection purposes, I could just buy one later when the price is really dropped. Alright, and this NPC I remember is incredibly powerful if you get hit by one of her fire blast things. Yeah, that is a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Probably shouldn't have been locked onto her. She has my hood and my arm things too. Pretty sure that's the pretty sure that's the hood and gloves that I have on. Thankfully, I haven't had too much trouble in the past with a Bed of Chaos. For some reason, I only have trouble with her on New Game Plus. She just seems a lot. Sometimes when I'm playing New Game Plus, I'm fighting the Bed of Chaos again. I wonder how on earth I managed to get past her, because she knocks me off the edge so easily. I would assume that the only thing that changed in New Game Plus was the amount of damage she dealt. But I don't know. For some reason, it seems a lot more difficult to get past her sweeping attacks on New Game Plus than it is on regular New Game. So I like to use Havel's shield in the fight, but my character in this game definitely is not able to wield Havel's shield, so. We'll just have to see how things work out, and if it's gonna be a smooth run through or if it's gonna be a really painful run through. Go. That was a lot easier than I thought. She does a lot of damage, but doesn't have a lot of health. Probably could have pancaked her with his Y handler too. Well, at least your controller works after that if you were taping it together and things like that. A lot of the time my controllers are done for. But on the other hand, a lot of my controllers survive so much more than I would expect them to be able to survive. I'm going to go left first too, because I almost always go right first. So I'm going to see if going left is easier. So this first phase right here is pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Obviously, you just saw it was a straight shot. Straight shot to the left side, nothing really happens, but this next one is where the boss becomes irritating. This is when the floor starts getting destroyed. That smack just took out half my health. I'm gonna have to heal. That sweeping attack, I don't even care if I die here. I don't think I've ever made it to the other side without getting myself killed. I always have to go to one side, die, and go back, go to the other side, die, then go to the center after going back to the boss again. Yeah, back on the topic of breaking controllers, though, I'm really thankful I've never broken an actual game system or an actual TV or anything like that. I've really only broken controllers, and when I was really, really young, like when the first iPad mini came out, so I had to have been 10, 11, or 12 years old. I smacked it one too many times, and the screen did crack, but it didn't break. It was still able to be used. Aside from that, I've never broken anything else aside from controllers, thankfully. Yeah, that's a relatable thing too, because controllers, when you throw them and they partially break, they always have such specific they have such a specific thing wrong with them. Like you're saying, if you tap a button too hard, then it'll turn off, which, man, I can imagine how irritating that would be. When you're mid-game and it turns off mid-boss fight or something. Actually, I had no idea that the floor rebuilt itself when we came back here. Oh, let's fucking go, boys. That was a long, man. Alright. Yeah, that was a pretty smooth run of the Bed of Chaos, because usually I don't have too much trouble getting to the center. I'm gonna die right now. Then I'll come back and I'll just be able to go straight to the center. Usually the most trouble I have is getting the second. Like, I'll go to either the left or the right. Usually go to the right first. Then getting to the other side is what I usually have the most trouble with. But we took it out pretty easily, so thank God the Bed of Chaos will not be too difficult to take down. Headbutt it. That is pretty hilarious, I have to say. Yep, I don't really, I mean, yeah, I guess I have a history of breaking controllers from that one iPad. Aside from that, though, yeah, like I said, I haven't broken anything too important. I'm trying to think if I have, but yeah, I have gotten close to breaking things, but yeah, usually most of the more important things that I've gotten angry with and maybe hit once or twice, usually I'm able to stop myself when it's something that big and expensive. Fucking assholes. See, that's something. Actually, I don't think I would have gotten that pissed if it was just once. If that happened to me when I was younger. Yeah, that's interesting. I was usually able to, when I was in like public or when somebody was watching me, I usually was really only by myself and nobody could see me. Far more calm when other people are around. So I didn't really do anything like that in school. But yeah, I can imagine actually intrigued to know what sort of reasons you had for breaking things in school. Alright, finally back at the Bed of Chaos so we can take her down once and for all. Now, there's definitely a chance that I'm going to either miss this jump or she'll smack me off the cliff. But say there's probably a 70-75% chance that we will successfully land on the little pathway, head up, and end the Bed of Chaos. When a kid stole your crayon in first grade, so you just smash the desk to pieces or something. Is the thing not gonna break? Holy shit, I'm getting... Yeah, usually that middle thing, from what I remember, usually the middle thing is already opened up. Kind of got killed because we had to wait there for so long. Bed of Chaos is the most annoying boss in this game, but the actual area, Lost Izalith, I know so well that I can breeze through it. So you just watched me get all the way to the Bed of Chaos in probably 15-20 minutes. The other areas, though, are far more... the actual areas are far longer. Like the Duke's Archives, the Tomb of the Giants, and the Catacombs. Fucking no matter how many times I play the Catacombs, I always get lost there. Although I did explore the Catacombs a lot in my most recent playthrough, because I had to platinum the game, so I had to piss around in the catacombs to find a bunch of shit there. So I think I might remember a lot better the layout of the place. But also might not. Definitely won't make any promises with that. You fuck off. Asshole. Making our way back to the bed of chaos to hopefully that middle thing is open this time, so that she can't get any attacks in. Or can't get very many attacks in. I also find it interesting how they programmed the sliding animation just for the single boss fight. I think there might be one other time in the game that it's used. And also, I think I realized, I think the middle area wasn't open because I hadn't walked over here yet. I think it has to open up for the first time and then it's permanently open. I think it doesn't open up until you walk back over there after taking out the second of the two things you stab on the left and right. But yeah, she took us out pretty quickly there. I don't really care because the middle thing is so much easier than getting to the left or right that one of these times we will get through. We will definitely get through. I realize we can put Havel's ring back on every time we get killed so that I can fast roll again. Not that fast rolling really helps that much against the Bed of Chaos. I don't know if I've ever successfully rolled through an attack from the Bed of Chaos a single time. So if I ever try to, the weird physics take effect and I just get slid off a cliff or something. Alright, but yeah, I feel... Oh yeah, and when I platinumed the game, that was also the first time ever that I had actually explored all of these back areas over here. I actually think there's an item back here. I don't remember what it is. So I don't remember if it's actually important or not. But we might as well get it. It's pretty easy to grab. Yeah, that was a really only important item for when, obviously, if you're a pyromancer. But also I needed the trophy for collecting all pyromancies. You fucking asshole. Yeah, alright. Do your little thing. I love how he just climbs out of this attack. Oh, I didn't even fucking survive it. Son of a bitch. Well, now I regret going over there. I've had more trouble just with this run to the Bed of Chaos than I did this entire area. I've spent more time on the Bed of Chaos than the entire rest of the area. It's pretty funny. Area has pretty random enemies too, like these like just the bottom half of a T-Rex, and then like the creature that swallowed me up into its mouth. It's such a strange thing, but it makes sense because this is a demonic, fucked up area, I guess. It just kind of deforms and mutates different creatures. Like the Ceaseless Discharge, he looks pretty fucked up. Always sad and unfortunate to take him out though when he knows the lore. Him and Sif are always unfortunate to take out, but especially Sif with how he gets weaker as the fight goes on. Alright. If I die again here, I probably won't switch to Havel's Ring anymore. For some reason, I just feel like this is going to be the one, because we can move quickly now. We can run straight to the center, and pretty good at timing the jump at this point. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get knocked off the side in half a second again. Fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. I could see how I perfectly aimed that jump and then I just got slid halfway across the arena. Bastard. And I fucking forgot to put the ring back on. Yeah, we're not switching to Havel's Ring again, because that happens. Alright. Switch to the orange shard ring. Recover my 0 souls. And all we can do is try again. I actually wonder what Havel's shield requires, what its strength requirements are. 50. Wonder if I can... Yeah, I can't wield it at all. Cannot wield it at all. Dark Souls, yeah, once we beat this game, we will probably be able to beat this game tonight. We will move on to Dark Souls 3. I'll be pretty busy for the next while, but it should either be in a week or two that we will start Dark Souls 3. That is my most played. That's my most played game in general of all time. Or maybe my second most played game of all time, so yeah, I can definitely breeze through that game quickly. Dark Souls 3, I feel like the beginning areas in all Dark Souls games are always the hardest areas, even if the enemies later are so much tougher, just because you are a lot later in the game, you're also a lot tougher, whereas at the beginning of Dark Souls, you have really shitty weapons and armor. I really don't like the beginning areas of Dark Souls 3, but the later areas of Dark Souls 3 are some of the best levels I've ever played in a video game. Oh my god, please. I thank fucking God. Thank God. Pretty sure she's capable of killing you in here, but it's rare for that to happen. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? I just fucking said I've never gotten killed in here. That was perfectly on cue. Are you fucking kidding me? Pretty sure she can attack in here, but it's a pretty rare thing. That's what I said, and then instantly after I said that, I got killed. I've never been killed in there a single time in my Dark Souls career. Well, I guess I now have it recorded on stream. Add that to the highlights. Yeah, in the last stream, a lot of funny things happened too. Yeah, I don't know if you were back in time to see what just happened, but I was facing the bed of chaos, and I finally got into the center, and I was saying how it's pretty, I think she can attack when you're in the center, but it's pretty rare thing to happen. And then instantaneously after I said that, she attacked me in the center and I got killed. And I've never died. After making the actual jump to the middle and, you know, running up the thing and getting into the middle of the bed of chaos, I've never died after that point a single time. The fact that motherfucker. This whole stream is just going to be me running back to the bed of chaos to get killed. Take a good look into his eyes. Give my character some encouragement. You can do it, buddy. All right. I'm dead. I'm dead. Why? Why did they program this boss this way? The way you don't even just get hit by her attacks, you're like a hockey puck. You just get knocked across the arena, or you slide in such a strange way across the arena. Yeah, they really do. They just want me to become familiar with the straight path there, running past all these guys so many times. I'm already familiar with this because of how many times I've died to the bed of chaos in the past. So yeah, like I was saying, usually it is on New Game Plus 2 that I get killed by the bed of chaos. New Game Plus 1 usually don't have this much trouble. Thankfully, they never really made a boss like this ever again in the Souls series. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Alright, this is like attempt number 8 or 9 at this point. I wasn't really counting, I'm just estimating. And alright, focus. I'm dead. I already know. Oh my god! Fuck you. I'll stay here for 6, 7, 8 hours if that's how long it takes. That was a perfect example there too. You can't really roll or anything like that to dodge the bed of chaos. You almost can't do anything to dodge the bed of chaos. You just have to hope you get lucky with her attack patterns. At least the run back is not too terrible. It's not the best in the world, but it's not difficult either. I think the bed of chaos would have been a prime boss, where you could have had an NPC. Where you could have had an NPC help you out. You could have had one go to the left while you go to the right. Actually, I guess you could summon someone for this fight. I'm curious too. I've never actually seen a Bed of Chaos fight with more than one player. But since I used mods and I've used cheats on my PC version of Dark Souls, I do not have access to online anymore on my PC. And thanks so much for the follow. Definitely looking forward to chatting with you and seeing you in more streams in the future, in addition to this one. Yeah, let's hope that this whole stream is not just me failing the Bed of Chaos. Dude, she kicks you so... I'm dead. Again. Alright. Not gonna mess around in here this time. We're just gonna go straight to the center. If I would have died there, I would have started crying. We've seriously started crying, but thankfully I did not die. And we are at last finished with Lost Izalith in the Flaming Fire area of Dark Souls. So let me level up real quick. Just level up these 3, as always. Level 57. Now at this point, we have a bunch of different paths we can take. But I think... I think we're going to make our way to the Duke's Archives next. I really do like that area, and it's a pretty easy area. And Seath the Scaleless, or Seath the Scaleless, is not too difficult either. I really like the jail segment too. You have to get killed by him, and then you're like stuck in jail. Pretty different thing that they did there. They didn't really do things like that in the later Dark Souls games, maybe because a lot of people found them irritating. But yeah, we've got a Ring of Sacrifice for that initial fight against Seath. I guess we really don't have that much to lose, regardless. Because we already lost it all in the 57 fights against the Bed of Chaos. I love seeing these pig guys again from earlier in the game. Looks like their ass is a little less exposed on these ones, though. So this weapon is pretty useless against them, actually. Fucking bitch. Alright. Let's get away from this guy. By the pig. This is Dark Souls. No matter how many times you play the game, one of the most... You can get killed by anyone, even these pigs, even these boar guys. Oh yeah, I definitely know what that YouTube video is. That's one of the most iconic YouTube videos, and I'm pretty sure they've continued making one yearly for a while. I don't know if they still do it. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think of what game has made me rage more than any other game. Yeah, like 45 of them. There is a lot. Don't know if they stopped them or if they're still making them. Yeah, this guy, we should be able to take him out. Well, let's see how much damage this does. My weapon doesn't do shit against this guy. Oh, there we go. The classic over-the-head sweep attack is what does it. This pig's gonna kill me again. Run. Please. Motherfucking asshole. Dark Souls really does not like me today at all. Alright, you little bastard. The pig is... Didn't think this is like my... This is my post-Bed of Chaos rust after dying to it so many times. Also, could be because we didn't put Havel's ring back on, so we didn't have the quick roll. Alright, I swear this pig is going to be defeated this time. Sick and tired of his shit. Sick and tired of looking at him. Yeah, if you gave 15 humanity to Frampt, that would be pretty devastating. That was such a waste. I have no clue what he trades you for that, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't give you that much for humanity. I think a majority of Frampt's trades are pretty useless, actually. Maybe there's one or two that are good, but I've never used them, so I'm not sure. Never used his trade system. And one more pig. Yeah, 20k souls for 15 humanity, I would not say is worth it. Good night to the pig, and that is the last time we should see it in the whole game. I actually think there's one more time you can see those pigs in the game, but I do not. I could either be wrong, or I was gonna say maybe they're in the DLC, but that wouldn't really make sense if they're in the DLC, lore-wise. So I'm pretty sure they're not in the DLC. So maybe that is the last time you see those pig guys, at the beginning of the game and through here. Which I wonder, I don't really know anything about the lore of those pig knights. So I'm kind of curious about that. Thankfully the sweeping, over the head sweeping attack works on these guys too, because these guys do well, I guess some of them do a lot of damage, especially the arrow guys. Thankfully we've got this Y handler though. And we actually, looks like we do have a lot of health for this area. I wasn't sure exactly how much of our health these guys would take away. Doesn't seem like they take too much away though. That guy is pretty strong, though. Remember when I platinumed the game? Yeah, that is true. Stress can definitely cause you to mess things up and I guess feel like you're under pressure or something and really screw with your process of thinking. It becomes more erratic. Becomes a lot more erratic. You're stressed, so you just decide to sell all of your humanity to Frank. I guess it was a good donation. If you think he's a good guy, although if you know about the lore, pretty sure Frampt is just lying to you and making stuff up. Just to try to convince you to become the new lord, or the new, what's it called? I don't know, I don't remember the exact name, but we'll just say Linker of the Fire. New man who links the fire. Just trying to convince you of that. Kidding me. Anyway, I was gonna say I killed this guy in my PS5 playthrough. I had to kill him like 35, 40 times because his weapon is considered one of the weapons you need to get all of the, I guess, special weapons in the whole game, which is an achievement. But his weapon is a pretty rare drop, so yeah, I had to keep going back and forth until finally he dropped it. The Dark Souls 1 Platinum, though, does not compare at all to the Dark Souls 3 Platinum, which I've gotten pretty far when it comes to platinuming Dark Souls 3, but in order to do it, you need some items that you can only unlock by progressing pretty far in the Covenants. In order to progress in the Covenants, you need that specific Covenant item. But unlike in Dark Souls 1, where each Covenant item did have like an area in the actual main game where you could farm it to a decent degree, even if it could take a good chunk of time, it wouldn't take too insanely long. But in Dark Souls 3, they had most of the Covenant items be related to multiplayer, and you can achieve them in the actual main game, but it takes such an unfathomably long time to farm them. Like, I killed there are these two skeletons in Dark Souls 3, and they're the only way you can get this Covenant item. I've killed them 100 times. No exaggeration, 100 times, and I think I got like 3 or 4 of them. And I needed like 40 of them. I think I might actually need 20, not 40. But that's only one example. There are like 5 or 6 Covenants where you need to farm items for that Covenant that are just as rare. I really have no desire. And Dark Souls 3's multiplayer is it's not dead, but it does take a lot longer to get into a multiplayer. Like invade someone or something like that. To get those, if you wanted to get the Covenant items in that way. And then if you die, which I'm not super good at PvP, so I die a lot when I invade. Yeah, if you die, then you don't get the Covenant item. So yeah, I haven't gone back to it in a little while to try and platinum the third game, just because of how tedious that portion is going to be. Go ahead and put on the Ring of Sacrifice so we don't lose these souls. I can't really think of anything else I'd use the Ring of Sacrifice for. Yeah, farming in souls definitely isn't a great experience and really is tedious, but Dark Souls 3 is just on a whole nother level. Dark Souls 1 I did have to do a lot of one Covenant I did have to do a lot of farming for, but in comparison to the third game, that was absolutely nothing. I haven't tried to platinum the other games yet. I did Dark Souls. I was going to do the first game and then the third game first, because those are the two I'm most familiar with, but kind of curious how difficult. I actually just realized I got cursed because I wasn't paying attention. Hopefully I have a purging stone on me. I've actually never been cursed in Dark Souls. But what I was saying was, yeah, I don't know how difficult it is to platinum the other games, but we're going to find out eventually. I will. I'm actually curious to know what you have to do in that game. Do I have any purging stones? Because if I don't have any purging stones, then I think we're going to have to beat this whole area with half health. Well, I guess that's something that can happen with streaming. You get caught up in conversation. Don't pay attention to some things. I'm gonna look up where to buy purging stone. Oswald sells it. Pretty sure you can warp back here if I get to the next bonfire, so. Yeah, I'm glad in Dark Souls 3 that they changed it so that cursing does not do this half health thing that it does in this game. Get the fuck over here. Not going up there, buddy. Cursed. Yeah, I still haven't beaten Elden Ring either. Because there's a secret boss, it takes, like, you have to do so many intricate things to get to this one boss in Elden Ring. And you have to get, there's an area called the Lake of Rot. I don't know how familiar you are with Elden Ring. There's an area called the Lake of Rot, and it can absolutely maul your health away. There are items that you can consume in order to make the, because if you're in the rot too long, you get like a status effect, which is kind of like toxic in Dark Souls. It makes your health rapidly go down. But in order to get to this boss, you have to go through the Lake of Rot. So I went through the Lake of Rot, and I used every single item to like heal my, make the rot go. And yeah, it's like a far worse version of Blighttown, because it's like 10 times the size of Blighttown. So the lore is really, really cool, because there's this massive, the Lake of Rot is just one section of this really massive area that has rot everywhere. This thing that's called rot. Pretty much this area of the world became this way just from there's this character named Radahn, and just from him fighting, like, he spewed out all this rot from his body, and he created this whole section of the world, like, just from fighting, just how much rot he spewed out of his own body. Like, a whole section of the entire map is from him, which shows how much power he had. He has a crazy amount of power. But anyway, yeah, I used up all of my heals for that status effect just to get to this secret boss. And then this boss, I can actually do nothing against this boss in Elden Ring, because it has this strange move where I don't know if you've seen any trailers or anything of Elden Ring, but he can like lift you. He uses anti-gravity, and he lifts you up off the ground, and I have no clue how you dodge it, because the anti-gravity affects the entire boss arena. And he slams you onto the ground, and he has all these other moves, like a crazy laser beam, all these different things, and he's insanely hard. And there's no bonfire, or they're called something else in Elden Ring, but there's no bonfire next to this boss. But there is something else. So, because in Elden Ring, they introduced a new mechanic called stakes of Marika. Basically, Stake of Marika is a checkpoint that you respawn at, but it's unlike a bonfire. Yeah, Lost Graces. And then there's Stakes of Marika. And Stakes of Marika, they're only in effect like while you're next to the boss. So if you ever leave that area and then you die, you don't respawn. Like, you can't teleport to the Stake of Marika or anything. So if I ever leave this area, then I would have to go all the way back through the Lake of Rot. If I wanted to. If I wanted to get there again, but I used all of my heals for Rot, so I wouldn't really be able to. I don't know where to find them. And plus, it's so tedious, and you have to do so many specific things to get there. I really just didn't feel like getting back to this boss, but I can't beat the boss because it's so insanely hard, so I just quit playing Elden Ring, and I haven't played it again since then. But I really do want to get back into the game. Probably going to do it when I've platinumed all of the other Souls games. Hopefully I explained that well enough, because I kind of was going all over the place with that. Elden Ring's bosses in general, though, are really on another level than the other Souls games, because Elden Ring essentially uses the exact same engine. Oh my, fuck these serpent guys. Elden Ring essentially uses the same engine that Dark Souls 3 does. I was so good at Dark Souls 3 after playing it so much. But even though it's pretty much Dark Souls 3's gameplay with jumping added and a horse added, the way they designed some of those bosses is just absolutely crazy. There's one boss where you can have like 7 or 8 NPCs fight the boss alongside you, and none of them, most of the time, none of them even survive the first phase of the boss. It's really cool though, because you can go, the NPCs who appear there, they only appear if you've met them throughout the game. Then you can summon all of them to help you with the fight, and then it's like a gigantic war. All of the NPCs charge the boss. But yeah, they usually don't survive the first phase just because of how strong he is. So the hilarious thing about that fight is that Patches is actually in Elden Ring. It's not just like a clone of Patches or a successor to Patches. His name is straight up Patches. It's just him. And you can summon him for the fight if you've met him. And then after you summon Patches, he immediately returns to his world after seeing the boss, which is pretty funny. Definitely a thing that Patches would do. Alright, I finally think we got past this part. Yes, that is correct. It is the one who's massive and he rides on his horse, and then he like... Yeah, he's half crushing his horse. I don't know how his horse supports his weight. And he like flies after the first phase. He jumps up and then flies back down at the arena as a huge meteor. Anyone who actually survived the first phase usually get themselves killed at that point. I'm gonna go ahead and leave Big Hat Logan there. Because we don't really need him. We are not a sorcerer. Plus, if we do save him, he just goes insane anyway. Yeah, Radahn, I don't know how I did end up defeating Radahn in Elden Ring. It's insanely difficult, though. Bosses in Elden Ring are just completely insane. Yeah, Patches is the smartest one. Because every single person is going to get utterly mauled by Radahn. Definitely Patches. Patches is not that powerful. I don't know why he thought about joining the fight in the first place, because all he has is his little spear and then he like shoots out that fire. During his boss fight, that's what he does. Well, that was my last heal, so. Would have been a lot easier if I didn't let myself get cursed. Yes, that is all he does, but he's such a charming character. I always love to see him, and I always love to have him just chilling around the Firelink Shrine, whether it's in the first game or the third game. Or the third game's DLC. I love how in if you do his quest line in the DLC of Dark Souls 3, which is essentially like the end of the world, and it's thousands of years after the actual base of Souls 3, like the only character who actually survived that long is Patches of all people. And then he like transcended time and space to go to Elden Ring, the world of Elden Ring. I'm gonna go ahead and use a humanity because we have plenty in stock. Elden Ring, I'm really curious what From Software's next Souls-like game is going to be too, because they could go in so many countless different directions. They could go with a sequel to Bloodborne. They could just straight up do a sequel to Elden Ring. They could do a sequel to Sekiro, or they could do a completely brand new series. And I have no clue what they're actually going to go with, because people love the idea of all these sequels to their games, but From Software has only ever made sequels to Dark Souls, and all of their other games have been standalone experiences. And I believe that there originally was not supposed to be a sequel to Dark Souls. I've never seen that guy teleport ever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there originally wasn't supposed to be a sequel to Dark Souls, but somehow it ended up a sequel. Dark Souls 2 ended up getting made, and it was without Miyazaki. So Miyazaki really wanted to kind of right the wrongs that Dark Souls 2 brought forward. So that's why I made Dark Souls 3, and you really wanted to expand on the lore of the first game, things like that, since Dark Souls 2 didn't really do any of that. It like created all new lore just for that game. But yeah, if they made Dark Souls 4, that would be amazing, and I would be so curious to see how they would do it, because the story. Do I not have any Estus? Get the fuck away from me. Is this guy for what the fuck? Dark Souls glitch right there. He's still alive too. Just gonna have to. Oh, I guess they knocked me off first. Did a lot less damage than I thought. Yeah, I'd be really curious to see how they would progress the story. Because the story's pretty much completely concluded. At the end of Dark Souls 3, there's really no way, almost no way they could continue the story. But if they did make a Dark Souls 4, they would have to figure out a way, I guess. But I think the most likely thing that they're going to do is probably Elden Ring 2, just because of how Elden Ring is like Dark Souls 2.0. I mean, you could have called, if Elden Ring had the same story, you almost could have called Elden Ring Dark Souls 4. Yeah, so with the huge success of Elden Ring, and with Elden Ring essentially being a successor to Dark Souls, I think, yeah, they probably will make a sequel to Elden Ring. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be so interesting to see how they pulled off a sequel to Bloodborne and how it would change after that first game. Yeah, the Bloodborne really has a cool setting, cool enemies. It's so different because there really aren't, there's almost no gothic games like that. Please heal. There are really almost no games in the genre of Bloodborne, so it's really refreshing to see. I think that's why so many people like the game. It's just so refreshing. It's like nothing else on the market. Really would love to see how they expanded upon the combat system of Bloodborne as well. And if it would be like since it takes place in the Hunter's Dream, if it would be like a new Hunter's Dream or something. I don't know that much about the lore of Bloodborne, so I can't say for sure, but a sequel would absolutely be interesting. But they've waited such a long time. I feel like if they were going to make a sequel to Bloodborne, they probably would have already. On the other hand, though, as of late, there has been so much demand for a sequel to Bloodborne. So with that, they could pull the trigger. But I think if anything, they'd probably make a remake or remaster of Bloodborne, because everybody wants a remaster of that game. Because it doesn't run at 60 FPS, and it's also only on the PS4. Everybody really wants a PC port, which myself included. Gonna go to the Undead Parish and get a Purging Stone so that we can get rid of this curse and make this area a lot easier. Also put Havel's Ring back on. Well, even though I don't know if it's about the lore, even though I don't know too much about the Bloodborne lore, I'd definitely love to hear what this theory of yours is. Really do need to watch videos on the lore of Bloodborne, though, because I've only learned all of the lore of Dark Souls 1 and 3. Don't know much about the second game, or Bloodborne, or Sekiro, or Elden Ring. And the lore is actually probably my favorite part of these games, so I don't know why I haven't delved into the other games. So yeah, I definitely need to do that. Thought my poise would have been better than that against these guys, but I guess not. Those pillar tree-like things. Yeah, I do think I know what you're talking about. Pillar tree-like things in the Hunter's Dream. Can't say for certain though if I know what they are. Maybe another one just in case. Ah, thank God. And I have 3 humanity in the bank too. Do I get that from the Purging Stone, or was it just stuck in there? Okay, don't think I get that from the Purging Stone. Use a Homeward Bone, and I think it would take me straight back. Oh yes, the trees in Ash Lake. I actually think I've heard of that theory. Whether you can travel to the world of Bloodborne through the Ash Lake. I'm gonna go ahead and kindle this bonfire. We have a shit ton of humanities. Oh, I guess we got those humanities when I was using them to heal. And then I guess I got my bloodstain each time, maybe. Cannot kindle further without the secret right. Oh, yeah, Pinwheel has that. I forgot that Pinwheel has that. Yeah, we can survive way more hits. You know, fuck you guys. I'm not doing this level without wasted health. Alright, come on, buddy. Yeah, I love that theory. I love the theories that connect Bloodborne and Dark Souls, and those theories actually do have some, things that back it up. So I actually do think that could be possible, but we never actually will find out. I have a similar theory to how the worlds are connected. Because in Dark Souls 3... Actually, let me think for a sec if I can explain this well enough. It's been a little while since I watched a bunch of lore videos on Dark Souls. So in Dark Souls 3, in the DLC, the Painted World of Ariandel, I'm gonna let myself get killed so I can explain this. So there's this DLC called the Painted World of Ariandel, and you meet this little girl. After you meet her, she goes into this room with a canvas that she wants to paint on, but she says she needs like something to actually paint with. So then, when you get to the next DLC, the Ringed City, and you defeat the final boss of the whole series, you get like the Blood of the Dark Soul or something like that. And then when you get the Blood of the Dark Soul, if you go back to the girl, you can give her the blood of the Dark Soul, and she uses it to paint this painting, but she's not just painting for no reason. Since you're in the painted world of Ariandel, it's a pretty fucked up place, so she wants to create a new world. And when you give her the blood and she starts painting the new world, she describes what she wants this world to be like, and she describes it very similarly to what the world of Bloodborne is like. I don't remember the exact words that she uses, but it's extremely similar to Bloodborne. So my theory is that she painted the world of Bloodborne with the blood of the Dark Soul, which would actually make a lot of sense. These guys just fucking ganged up on me. Alright. I'm gonna go into concentration mode to get past these guys. I actually wonder how many times I've gotten killed in this stream. And I recovered that for no reason because I didn't lose anything. Yeah, they absolutely do. Definitely should look up some videos about, I wonder if there are videos about connecting the world of Bloodborne to the world of Dark Souls. I definitely bet there are. Yeah, especially since Dark Souls and Bloodborne for the longest time were the only two, they were the only two Souls-like series. There's Demon Souls too, but Demon Souls is kind of part of the Dark Souls series. It's Souls. It has Souls in the name. So yeah, for the longest time, there were the Souls games, and Bloodborne. Then finally Sekiro came out, the third new universe. Then obviously Elden Ring is now out, so you've got a bunch of different types of Souls games. I don't remember at all where to go. I'm gonna have to run around for a little while. I think I'm fucking dead here. I just backed myself to the corner with 100 of these people. But we're having fantastic conversations, so it's alright if I get a bit distracted. Gonna run past these fucking guys though this time. Don't remember, do I go up here? Yeah, pretty sure I am supposed to go up here. Get the fuck out of my way. And I'm pretty sure I turned this. I got that guy killed. Oh nope, he survived. Head down here, I think. Even if I'm wrong, it has something to do with these things. I know I have to use these twisting stairs. Kind of like what I was saying about the catacombs earlier. No matter how many times I play through this area, I can tend to get lost. Yes, I was correct. Then I jumped down there. I probably should have killed that guy, but I only really care about getting to the next area, which I think is right here. Oh, he fucking jumped down. 2 of them fucking jumped down? Well. And he teleported away. Let's get this fucking guy out of the way. And I'm pretty sure we've made it through this part, this section. Yes, we have. Can't kill this guy because I forgot to get arrows as I usually do. But he's not much of a threat, so it's fine. And then we can rest at the bonfire and make our way to Seath. Which Seath definitely has, I would almost say he has the worst run back to the boss in this game. He definitely does. I can't think of any bosses that have a worse run back than him. 'Cause you have to go all the way down, all the way through the crystal caves. And yeah, it takes a while. He's not that difficult of a boss, but he's not an easy boss either. And that right there, pretty sure is the key that lets Big Hat Logan out. But we unfortunately don't really care about Big Hat Logan, so he's gonna have to rot in his cell. Like I was saying, he goes insane anyway if we let him out. Or I think you have to buy all of his items for him to go insane. But he would still infinitely be stuck here in the Duke's archives, whether we let him out or not. I don't feel too bad about him. We'll head through here and grab this humanity, jump down here, then start making our way across the invisible bridges. I think I remember the correct path to take, but I'm not for sure. So I kept going, I think in my last playthrough I kept thinking I went down there, but I think that's the wrong way to go. I think we actually go past this guy, yeah. Go past this guy, up over here, then this, yeah, this is the actual next part of the path. It's 1:30 a.m. for me and I'm not tired. It is also 1:30 a.m. for me, and I'm also not tired. Though that's, I was gonna say that's probably because I work the night shift. But even when I didn't work the night shift, I still was kind of a night person. That's why I started working the night shift, because I'm usually always awake at that time. So yeah, I'm just a nighttime kind of guy. But I'll be streaming for quite a while, so, you know, if you're going to be up for a while, I will be here. And not that you have to stay in here, or you're obligated to stay in here, but really don't want to waste all of my flasks. Actually, I don't want to die to these guys, because like I was saying, the run back really sucks. I think we might just sprint past these guys, but I think for some reason I feel like I remember they're able to get into the arena. But I guess we'll just find out right now. Yeah, maybe your other theory was too long because I did not see the other one pop up onto the screen. I don't know if it displays the chats for you either, and if you saw it pop up on the screen or not. This game does look really good on PC though. The glisten in the armor and the shine in the armor you can see. It has details that I don't really remember seeing in the console versions. Alright, curious how much damage he's gonna do to me. Yeah, you can see those guys right there trying to barge their way in. They're all gonna swarm this place. Oh fuck, one of them did get in here. Fuck. I don't do that much damage to him either. You asshole. Oh fucking. He kill his own guy? He did kill his own guy, I think. Maybe he doesn't really care about them that much. That fucking clans. Don't like the clans. They're way stronger than they should be. They're just clam guys. They do way too much damage. Pretty sure they're in one other area of the game, but I don't remember where that area is. Could be wrong though. Yeah, that is where it is. Ash Lake. It's Ash Lake for when I platinumed it on PS5. That was the first time that I knew about Ash Lake, but I never actually had any reason to really go there. That was the first time that I went there because I needed it for an achievement. And yeah, I saw the clams, and it was give off a really cool feeling because there's just this large, wide open area, and the only living things in that area are just a couple of the clan creatures. I wonder why they're there. They're in two such random areas in the game. They're just here, around Seath Salus, and then they're in Ash Lake. So, interesting locations for them. As Y-Handler kind of does low damage. I think usually I have it upgraded a bit more at this point. Yeah, oh my god, the Great Hollow. Pretty sure that is like a tree that you have to climb down. And that was horrible. That was actually horrible to climb down that tree. I had to watch a walkthrough on how to get down that tree. And those mushroom guys pack way too much of a punch. It's really cool that there's an area in Dark Souls 3 where you can see a bunch of the corpses of those mushroom enemies. Oh, fuck! Am I dead? Yes, I am. Well, we got pretty far in that fight. Yeah, Ash Lake, completely optional area. It's really cool how you get there, though, how it's through that tree in Blight Town. I always knew about Ash Lake, but never bothered to really look up how to actually get there, so I didn't know how it was accessed. I want to try out the Crystal Halberd, but I feel like the Crystal Halberd probably would not do very much damage to Seath, considering he's a crystal. I mean, it's from... Pretty sure that's like the, like these are all crystal enemies in this area, so I would assume Seath himself would be strong against crystal weapons, but I can give it a shot. Yeah, sounds good. You could definitely split it up, and I'll give it a read. For a second before I came out here, it was so dark, I thought it was nighttime. Oh yeah, the Gaping Dragon being from Blighttown. I do think I've heard about that theory, actually. But yes, go on. Exactly, and Blighttown is also the area that's directly after you defeat the Gaping Dragon. And I think like the sewer thing that he comes from, I think you can actually find the other side of that somewhere down in Blighttown. So the residents of Blighttown or whoever lives there are probably very glad that the Gaping Dragon is no longer down there. Well, I wonder where the Gaping Dragon would have hung out in Blighttown, if he would have just roamed around the massive swamp, or if he would have been somewhere else. I don't know. Fuck you. Fuck you. Absolutely, yeah. Definitely would not be in an Ash Lake, although that'd be horrifying if it was an Ash Lake. Just seeing a creature like that roaming around there. It is really cool seeing more of the Hydras there, though, in Ash Lake. Yeah, the Gaping Dragon, how strange and interesting of a design it is, and how disgusting it is, how it opens up its whole body into a mouth. I would say that definitely fits the sort of creature that would be down in Blighttown. So, absolutely makes complete sense. It's something I love about Dark Souls, that, you know, things are connected like that, and you can make theories, but they're never actually confirmed. Yeah, the dragon scale in that pit behind the bonfire, and considering that pit is kind of like a sewer-like area, I would say that essentially confirms that he is from Blighttown, because that kind of makes it pretty clear if it's dragon scale is next to a sewer-like entrance, and the dragon, or the Gaping Dragon, comes up from a sewer-like area, so it makes sense. Actually, that's true. That would, because it's a pretty large tunnel, and that would be horrifying. You just go into that tunnel, and the Gaping Dragon is just relaxing or chilling there or sleeping there or something. That would actually be a cool, I guess, den or home area for the Gaping Dragon. So yeah. Yeah, let's not fall off here and get ourselves killed. Gaping Dragon, yeah, I guess I didn't think about him chilling in those sewers. Okay, time to see what this weapon does against Seath. Yeah, I think that I think I may have fallen down there before. That's what I was saying. It was kind of like a sewer-like area. So the dragon scale is in a sewer-like area, but when you fall down in that pit, in the Great Gaping Dragon's arena, that kind of has a similar textures to the sewer where you find the dragon scale. So such a cool way of showing us where the Gaping Dragon is from, but not telling us directly. I'm gonna skip these guys. So after that last fight, I would have defeated Seath in that last fight if I had more Estus flasks. Alright, this weapon's almost broken, but let's see if it really does anything against him. Yeah, it's pretty weak against him. Let me go ahead and equip it. Oh, I've not died to Seath the Scaleless in such a long time that I did not know that you had to destroy this, or that this thing respawned if you died to them. So all of those awesome hits that I just got were useless, unfortunately. Yeah, Crystal Halberd and Speedy and Zig. Yeah, a really strong weapon at that point in the game, and it's a quick weapon, way quicker than the Zweihandler, so absolutely would be a great weapon against them. Sad that it's a crystal weapon though, so that once it breaks, you can never repair it. That would actually, if it didn't have that issue, with you not being able to repair it, I'd probably use it a lot more. Yeah, this fight is going far better. He's not using I'm not getting hit nearly as much by his curse attack. I'm actually kind of kicking his ass this time. Yeah, this man's dead. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. He's... That was fucking close. That was too fucking close. And he's dead. That was a far easier fight than the first time. The first time I took him on. Something about Dark Souls 2, you can have a really shitty fight and then fight the same guy again and have it go incredibly well. I've had bosses that are the simplest bosses in the series, and one playthrough of the game I'll, for no reason, struggle with them to an incredible extent. Like the Deacons of the Deep in Dark Souls 3, they're the easiest boss in the whole game, but one time I just died to them like 10 or 11 times. I think I'm going to go with Nito next. I always do the Four Kings last just because I don't know the area very well. The New Londo Ruins, and I don't like how in the New Londo Ruins you always have to pay attention and make sure you have a transient curse activated, or else you won't be able to fight the enemies. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and take out Nito. So we'll have to go through the whole Catacombs area, and then the whole Tomb of the Giants area. Let's go ahead and level up first, actually. Level 60, and then warp our way to the shrine. Then we're going to have to equip our, I think it's an occult or a divine weapon, so that we can actually kill the skeletons. Is it an occult weapon, or I think it might be a divine weapon, and I was supposed to de-upgrade that, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Yeah, it's a divine weapon, so I think we're gonna have to go to Andre and make this into a divine weapon. So I guess we'll warp again over to the Undead Parish. Head down to my man Andre, the only man in this game whose lips move. I always wonder why they only made his lips move specifically. And then in Dark Souls 3, they did it again. Only Andre's lips move. Then in Elden Ring, though, they broke the cycle of all their characters not having lips that move. So in Elden Ring, I'm pretty sure everybody's lips move. Well, I can turn this into a divine Zweihandler? I actually didn't know that. That'd be pretty helpful, but it would make it a lot weaker, so. Oh yeah, that is a fantastic reward you get for taking down Ornstein and Samo. Incredible. Yeah, they're pretty incredible breasts, and they are gigantic, too. Not just, you know, in normal terms, but they are literally gigantic. But unfortunately, if you ever tried to make a move on her, she is just an illusion and not the actual Guinevere, so she would just disappear. Head back to the shrine, and then we'll make our way down to the catacombs. Actually, I said that I don't know the layout of the what's it called? New Londo Ruins that well, but I really don't know the layout of the catacombs either. I always get completely lost in there. But I really had to run around there a lot during my platinum playthrough. Hopefully I'll remember more. I guess in a way they are like anime titties. God damn it. Meant to click on this Zweihandler, but I guess this will do. Yeah, instead of thinking about Guinevere, Gwyn's wife. Guinevere and anime women. Well, my whole room, all of the walls are just completely covered in anime women, so you are not alone. also have a bunch of anime women tattooed on me, so. I have the main protagonist of Claymore, Claire. And then I also have 2B from Nier Automata, or Automata, however you want to pronounce it. And then I also have Griffith from Berserk. So even though Griffith is a male, he's a very feminine man. I don't know if you know much about Berserk. But Dark Souls is actually heavily inspired by Berserk and has a ton of Berserk references in the game. Kill this guy and light the bonfire. Artorias specifically is really inspired by the protagonist of Berserk. The way that he moves and fights. 6 years ago, and it was not definitely doesn't sound like it was a satisfying person or a good person to be with. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I'm running past all these guys. I kill them all off, or they will all swarm me. Let me kill this fuck. Thankfully, once you kill these guys, they don't respawn. Guess I let him get away though. Yeah, the biggest thing I hate about this area, besides how maze-like it is, though, is the skeleton wheels. Skeleton wheels have really made me fucking rage so many times, because I cannot do anything. If they get you, they can really get you into a crazy stun lock. Skeleton wheels. Thank God they were completely changed in later games to not be nearly as annoying. Not getting away this time, buddy. Okay, I guess you are getting away. Where the hell did he go? Where did he go? Pretty sure he's... Okay, no, he's not that way. There he is. Alright. Yes, there are. There are a lot of side areas that I went to for the first time when I did my Platinum run on PS5. And the Painted World is one area that I never went to in my previous playthroughs of the game. So yeah, I went there on my Platinum playthrough, and there were indeed a bunch of skeletons there. And they are annoying, but they still aren't nearly as annoying as they are here, because there's so many of them here. At least there's less, and they're a little bit more spread out in the Painted World. I'd never even really seen that much gameplay of the Painted World from Dark Souls 1. I only knew a ton about the Painted World from Dark Souls 3. The Painted World in Dark Souls 3 is a pretty massive level, so I thought that this Painted World would at least be somewhat large, but it's actually one of the smallest levels in the entire game. There's Patches right over there. I need to remember that I can't quick roll with both of these weapons. Both of the Painted Worlds, though, definitely at levels that I really like in the Souls series. Really cool ideas. I think it was executed a lot better in Dark Souls 3. Not just because of the larger level size, but yeah, just the general vibe of the area and all of the enemies and characters you meet. Really awesome. Yeah, my goal is to beat this game tonight, which I definitely think is possible. We only have Nito, and then we got the Four Kings, and we have Gwyn, and Gwyn is absolute cakewalk if you know how to parry him. I think I might be dead. I am definitely dead. Oh yeah. I've not played the DLC of Dark Souls 2. I haven't beaten Dark Souls 2. I have gotten really, really far in that game, but haven't quite beaten it, and have not gotten to the DLC. But I have seen a lot of gameplay of that DLC with all the reindeer there, and apparently they're incredibly irritating. I think that's known as one of the worst areas in the entire series. Haven't played it for myself though, but Dark Souls 2 areas tend to not be the best, because they throw so many enemies at you. And I also don't like a lot of the mechanics that they changed in Dark Souls 2, like how when you heal with an Estus flask, your character stands there, slowly picks it up, takes such a slow, gradual sip of the Estus, and then your health goes up so slowly too. You need such a large and wide open, you need so much free time just to heal in Dark Souls 2. Really messes me up in that game. And it doesn't really have a fast roll in that game either. Their fast roll is similar to the mid roll in Dark Souls 1. Throws me off too. And then they have that really weird mechanic where they have that really weird mechanic in Dark Souls 2 where you have to like upgrade your rolling. Like you can upgrade how good your rolling is, and apparently a lot of people don't know this, and that's why a lot of people struggle with the game. I actually didn't know that till like this year. Yeah, for DLC, I know the Dark Souls 1 DLC, I played through it once, the Dark Souls 1 DLC. And then I've played the Dark Souls 2, the Dark Souls 3 DLC 100 million times. I have not beaten Bloodborne yet. I'm actually playing through that game right now, so I don't know the DLC yet. Sekiro didn't have any DLC, and Dark Souls 2, I think I already talked about Dark Souls 2. And Elden Ring obviously does not yet have DLC either, so yeah, I guess I only know Dark Souls 3 and then the first game's DLC. DLC of Dark Souls 3 though are the best levels I've ever played in almost in a video game, I would say. They're really incredible. Gives you a complete feeling of dread too, because it is the last DLC is the end of the Dark Souls world. Oh my, I didn't even realize where the fuck I was. I just returned to the starting area. Yeah, and it seems like they're really taking their time on the Elden Ring DLC, which makes sense with how big of a game it is, but also with how popular it became. Yes, definitely really curious to see what they do with that, and really excited because their best areas tend to be their DLC areas. Like in Bloodborne, I haven't played the DLC, but it's pretty well regarded as one of the best levels From Software has ever created. And then there is Dark Souls 1 DLC, which is also incredible. These fucking skeletons. And like I was saying, the Dark Souls 3 DLC is probably the best levels I've ever played in the game. You know what? I just need to be able to quick roll. I go way too slow with both of those weapons. I'm pretty sure I know a shortcut, but every time I go here I forget what the shortcut is. Isn't it right here? Fuck you. I think it is right there, though. Yeah, I don't do it then either, just because it's so far out of the way. And you have to do so many, you have to do that really weird, arbitrary little quest just to get into the DLC, which is so random. Such a random quest. That reminds me, I forgot to kill that serpent, or that Hydra that's in the lake there, where you access the DLC. Alright, we're gonna do a speed run through this area. I think I remember now the shortcut that I know. Yeah, it's right there. I think it is. At least I think it is. My armor is really going to need repairing after all this. Fuck! I can tell that's it though, because right below is the wheel skeletons. I think I probably have to switch or change that switch. Yeah, I never come here to the Undead Asylum just because I'm not skilled enough. Not really skilled enough to run through this area at such a low level. Dark Souls 3, on the other hand, I have done some pretty difficult stuff in. I've gone to higher level areas early on. Yeah, I just did a suicide run just to get the blade. Good plan. Thankfully you don't lose any of your actual items when you die. Oh, I think the shortcut's actually right. Okay, no, it's definitely not right. Let me get away from these skeletons, though. I'm just gonna... This place is such a maze. I have no clue where I am. Oh yeah, good to get that Firekeeper soul early on, which, that reminds me, I probably have some Firekeeper souls that I haven't used yet. Nope, never mind, I do not. Alright, so I need, I'm pretty sure I need to flip the switch on that one in order to use a shortcut. I think. Could be wrong though. Is this the shortcut? I can just hear like 30 skeleton blades hitting the wall. Or, I don't know if that's their blades or just them like flying through the area. I wonder how far they would follow me to. Take these guys out. I actually don't think I even need to use this against them. It's these ones specifically. Could have sworn that I don't know why I'm drawing a blank as to how you flip that one. It's usually the first one that I flip. Pretty sure this is the wrong way. Yep. I fucking hate skeletons. I don't know why I did, for some reason I just don't know how to get over there. No matter, even though I've done it 100,000 times. And the jumping button didn't work. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go in a different direction to flip that switch though. Usually I find that pretty quick just from running around. But like I was saying earlier, so you'll randomly run into trouble with things you never have trouble with when you play Dark Souls. I think I can kill these guys with my regular weapon now. Oh, that's one of the most random messages I've received, but that sounds like an interesting, really interesting experience. Thankfully you had something like that there though, or else you really would have been screwed. So you were stuck in it or outside of it? If you're stuck in it, then you could have really been screwed. Yeah, that could have caused major problems. I've lost count of how many times I've died here. Oh. Cannot believe I just survived that. Wow. Now this is the beginning again. Catacombs is way too much of a maze. Alright. Pretty sure I already went over, or did I die here before I definitely don't think I died. Yeah, like your nicknames for Ornstein and Smo that you have. Doing things nicknames can be a nice, cool thing to have. Can give you a more personal connection with objects, I guess. Bottle of shiny Sunny D. Heal yourself with Sunny D. I used to get a whole jug of Sunny D every night back when I was in middle school, and I just played Dark Souls. Yeah, I guess I never looked at Estus that way, but it does look like some sort of orange juice. Okay. Alright, just gotta push this in. And I think, pretty sure that's where the shortcut is. The Patches is gonna try to kill me. Yeah, Sunny D, especially I think there's a blue Sunny D, and the blue Sunny D is actually phenomenal. But I haven't had Sunny D in so many years because I actually ended up getting sick of it because I drank almost the whole jug every weekend for probably a year or two. Oh, it's fire? It's flame? That would make sense with the lore. But yeah, I did not know that. Drinking flame. Yeah, it does look like kind of like flame if you look at the artwork.
I know what it is. Well, this place.
Alright, so let's watch him try to get us killed here. And yeah, that's the shortcut. So is that the shortcut? Or is that, it's definitely this one, I think. I was fucking talking and I just said that. Just said we were gonna try to avoid his trap, and then I started talking and completely ignored it and got myself killed. It's alright, we know how to get there now. Yeah, Reese, this is actually only the second stream that I've ever done, so I'm really not used to talking the entire time that I'm playing the game. So it really can, and I think a lot. so it can really mess up my concentration. I actually don't know what happens if you leave the asylum without Estus. I have no clue. I think you could I think you might play the entire game. You either play the entire game without Estus, or maybe Oscar. It's Oscar Restorer, right? Maybe Oscar, he dies, like if you go too far from him and skip him, I think he might die. And then you automatically get the items that he has. I think that's probably what happens. I hate the... There needs to be... There could be a massive compilation just of how many times I've died in this stream. It is definitely a lot. But I really want to beat this game before I go to sleep. I want to beat it in this stream, so we should probably get going. We don't have too much to go until we get to the end of the game, but it's not exactly a small amount either. Oh yeah, sound I'll never forget either. Way too iconic, and I've heard it way too many times. Can't believe this area was right there that whole time. That was just completely missing it. These guys don't give a fuck. They just straight jump off of there after me. Well, let's see what Patches says, if he's even still here. I think he's not here anymore. Oh, he is. You fuck. Thanks for the humanity. I'm always so tempted to kill Patches, but I like having him as a shopkeeper, so I never do. I think I'm gonna go through here just to look at what's here, because I kind of forgot. Okay. Alright, then this is the... Pretty sure this is the shortcut. I don't know, it seems a little more difficult than it usually is, though. Okay, that's definitely not the shortcut. The shortcut's a lot easier to jump onto. Oh my fucking god. I don't know if I've ever died at the catacombs this many times. Now we can jump straight onto that platform, though. Jump straight onto here. Is it this? Oh yeah, it's definitely this. Definitely this. Thank God, finally found the shortcut. Now I have to figure out where the blacksmith guy is, because that's where the bonfire is. And there's always a Titanite demon back here. Oh, yeah, I don't have any idea where the blacksmith is. Don't remember if there's another shortcut that goes even further down than that or not. Yeah, definitely not. Well, we'll just move forward and I'll eventually figure it out like I do every time I play this game. I always have to run around here for such a long time until I eventually remember. Or I eventually stumble across it. And I'm pretty sure there's a Black Knight in here. Yes. Oh my. Please don't kill me. Oh, these. Oh! Well, at least I know how to get to Pinwheel. I don't necessarily need the blacksmith in this playthrough. So I may just book it to Pinwheel. Then obviously we're not going to die to Pinwheel. Nobody dies to Pinwheel. We're dying so many times, but we're slowly making progress. Head back over here, go back to that Black Knight. Gotta be really careful around him. I wonder if I can. Animation after you fall is too lengthy. Too lengthy for me to recover before you hit me. Now these guys are gonna absolutely these guys are gonna incinerate me. Alright. Oh my god, everybody's chasing me. I'm not surviving this. I have no confidence that I'm going to survive this because of these fucking pinwheel or wheel ones. Maybe we'll get a miracle though. Holy crap. Maybe we will get a miracle because I've just dodged every single one of them pretty effortlessly. Wow, we actually made it through without even getting touched by one of those things. Pretty nice, alright. Finally made our way to Pinwheel. Can't believe some people fight this guy first. Not that he would be that hard to fight first, but the fact that you'd have to make it all the way through the catacombs at the beginning of the game is crazy. I'll probably end up getting killed by Pinwheel just because of how the stream's been going, with me dying so often. Okay, even I wouldn't die to Pinwheel. He actually does more damage than I thought, though. Now we have the Rite of Kindling. We can kindle the bonfire. To 20 Estus flasks, or 15. But now the issue is I'm going to have to get through the Tomb of the Giants in pitch black because we do not have a lantern. I can make it through here without a lantern though because I have done it. I've done it before. I don't remember where you get a lantern though. Before here. I know obviously there's a way, but yeah, I think there's a chance that one of those guys spawn or drop a lantern. One of the people who make the skeletons revive. I think they have a random chance to drop one. Aside from that, though, I have no clue how you would get one. I'm gonna have to watch a video on this, though. Walking through the Tomb of the Giants, just so that I can know the layout and know what's gonna kill me. Oh, so the last Necromancer is a guaranteed drop, and then, yeah, I did not know that. I thought every one of them had a random chance, or maybe they all do have a random chance, but then the last one has a 100% chance. Okay. Look up the Tomb of the Giants walkthrough just so that I can watch this guy. We just need to get to patches, and once we get to patches, then that bonfire is right there, and it won't matter if we get ourselves killed. Fuck, that is terrifying right there. And you can just faintly see their two eyes. Good thing we have this Y-handler, though, which can completely decimate the guys. That's scared the hell out of me. Alright. Oh shit. One more. Oh my god, that's scary. Well, I'm gonna have to use a humanity here. So I don't know which way it is, because that video wasn't really helping. I don't know if is it this way? Fuck. Fuck. Please don't. Man, that was pretty stressful. Now I have no clue where to go. Is this? I don't know how close we are. I don't know where we are right now, but we've got to be pretty close to the bonfire. I need to find patches. So once I see patches, I know exactly where we are. Do we go down here? Well, really hope so. Yes, there's my man patches. So that means the bonfire has got to be... No! Oh my god, I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to trigger that. I thought you had to talk to him first to trigger that. Oh, alright then. Well, at the very least, we're gonna get a skeleton lantern because there are lanterns down here. Really wanted to get the bonfire first. Yeah, at least we have a lantern now, so when we come back here, it'll be pretty easy. It's pretty intense though, and we can also, I wonder if the, Yes, she is here. I didn't really ever talk to that guy in the Firelink Shrine who this girl is with, so I wasn't sure if she would appear here. These guys should be pretty easy to take out since we got such a fantastic weapon. Here we go. Then she should appear in that church now. Then we're gonna have to kill her other friend, that little bastard, because he murders her if we don't. Let's exhaust the dialogue, alright, and then get going. I think it's pretty easy to get, I'm pretty sure it's easy to go, to get back up there. However, I usually just homeward bone back to the bonfire. After killing those two guys. Yeah, these are really desperate times. We're completely out of Estus and are relying on humanities. If we die now, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning of the catacombs. Which would not be ideal. But I think this ladder leads back up. Not sure, not for certain though. Yeah, 'cause that's the guy who was shooting me, right? And there's the bonfire. Don't think that's the same guy who was shooting me, but we still got to the bonfire, so we don't have to go through the catacombs ever again for the rest of this playthrough. Thank God. Now we're actually really close to Nito already. Talk to Patches and we can make him a shopkeeper.
For heaven's sake, yes.
Get the twin humanities, talk to him again. He just has an addiction to kicking people off of ledges and ruining their lives. Sorry, Patches, but I really don't know what you mean. I can't really relate to you. But I always hate this part. There are so many dogs and so many of the big-ass skeletons that it's never worth just fighting every single one. It's more worth just sprinting past them all. I probably should have leveled up. I didn't think about it. There's a whole ass Black Knight here too. More dogs, more giant skeletons. This is such a stressful area. Holy shit! He just dropped the fucking Black Knight halberd. He killed himself and just dropped the Black Knight halberd. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, we have the Black Knight halberd for the rest of the game. Its starting strength is the same, it's almost the same as the Y handler. 245, or as a +9 Y handler. Yeah, it's the same as my +9 Y handler. Holy shit. I can't even use it with 2. Oh, I think you have to upgrade your dexterity a little bit. Let me check its requirements, but I can't believe that just happened. You need 18 dexterity. And I I have 13, and that's actually going to take a while. Could take a while to upgrade since we're at such a high level at this point. But we do have a lot of boss souls that I'm never going to use for any boss weapons that I can use for souls instead. And we have a bunch of like souls of a hero, blah blah blah, things like that. So yeah, that is fantastic. That caught me completely off guard. Not just that he dropped it, because I actually didn't know that Black Knight could drop a halberd. But what really caught me off guard is the fact that he killed himself and then he dropped it. So I just randomly got the best weapon in the entire game. Out of nowhere. That was awesome. That was awesome. I think, do I have another ring of... I didn't really need that guy. Do I have another ring of sacrifice? Because these 26k souls could be helpful. Pretty sure I don't, though. Damn. Well, I could always go back. I could always homeward bound back. But we made it here. We essentially made it to Nito. On our first try, our first run through. Past all those guys, so I really don't want to have to do it again. Just to level up a bit. But I might have to here anyway if I get myself killed. Oh, I forgot I don't have my shield on. You know what? I'm running past these guys. And all the pinwheel just becomes a regular enemy. Almost immediately after his boss fight. Grave Lord Nito. I don't think I've ever fought him. Usually I'm pretty overpowered when I fight him, so I don't know how this fight's going to go. But he's really not that difficult of a boss. All of the Nitos, or all of the pinwheels, took away all of my Estus, and then the actual fall into the boss arena also takes away a bunch of your heals, so we're going to have to rely on humanities. Oh my, that took away half of my health. So I already have to pop a humanity that quick. Son of a bitch. We do have a lot of humanities though, but if we're going to use them, we got to make this fight count. Nito himself really doesn't do that much damage. The big problem is his actual skeletons. Alright, kill your skeletons, please. Oh shit. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know if I want to use too many. I don't know if I really want to use all of my humanities on this Nito fight. He is halfway dead, though. I really don't know if I have a desire to come all the way back here. Alright, yeah, I might homeward bone out of here. Fuck. Alright, if we have to use one more, then I'm going to homeward bone out of here. Alright, yeah. Should probably homeward bone out. Homeward bone out, and we'll use all the humanities we used to kindle the bonfire to plus 20. Damn, I should have bought a repair kit, or that kit you can use to upgrade your own weapons. Probably should have got one of those. Well, I don't know if I could use it with a Black Knight Halberd, because I think it's a special weapon to upgrade. Oh yeah, I need to level up dexterity. Oh, Soul of a Hero? I felt like a Soul of a Hero had more than 10,000 souls. I guess not. How much do I need to level up? 25k. Yeah, we'll just use all of these. Try to get up our dexterity up as high as we can. Though we definitely, when we defeat Nito, should be able to get it up all the way. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have quite enough. It's gonna be close though. I don't really know how many souls these give us. But yeah, we're not gonna use the boss souls later. So we do not need to keep them. Okay, yeah, we definitely will get up to 18. $1,200 for the Soul of the Moonlight Butterfly. That is pretty low. Alright, I think that should do it, I believe. Yes. 18 dexterity. So we can now use the Black Knight Halberd. Just as powerful in its base form as is Y-Handle, they're +9, but it is far more practical to actually use. My favorite weapon. remove some stuff to try to quick roll. Man, I guess the Black Knight Halberd is really heavy. Really don't want to remove my pants. I think we'll replace it with a skirt. Still doesn't let me quick roll. And I don't want to remove my badass armor. Oh, removing those tiny pieces of cloth on my arms is what got me over the edge, it looks like. Alright, yeah, should make this boss fight a lot easier though. Even though we'll be doing the exact same amount of damage. The hits of the Black Knight Halberd is just far faster than the Zweihandler. Definitely glad we got this. We really should breeze through the end of the game now. Really isn't that much left though, because there's just the just New Londo Ruins, and that's about it. So then we have Gwen right after that. Ah, I forgot to kindle the bonfire. Fuck. It's too late now. Completely missed that guy, but don't really need what he has anyway. And we're gonna go ahead and ignore that NPC invader guy. We don't have time to deal with him right now. It's a lot more damage than I thought. Just gotta get past these guys so we can get back to Nito. Yeah, we got him about halfway down last time, although we did use a bunch of humanities. So yeah, if we're about to die this time, I think I will Homeward Bone out again, just because I don't want to lose these 8 humanities we have stored up that I could use to kindle the bonfire. So just getting here, we had to use almost all of our Estus flasks this time too. If I would have kindled it all the way, we would still have 17. And I'm gonna have to use more because it takes so much of your health away just from the drop. I'm gonna have to use both of them. We don't have any Estus again. Oh my, yeah, okay. I really don't want to do that run again, but the smart decision is to Homeward Bone back and kindle this bonfire. All the way up. And one more. Okay, with 20 Estus, Nito is toast this time. I bet you now that I successfully have everything prepared, I bet you that I'm going to get destroyed on my way over there. We will find out though. Maybe not. Maybe this run through is, this run through is a lot easier than I thought. You really just have to find the holes and just jump through them. In order to get back to Nito. So like this hole, just jump down it. Then follow the lights. Yeah, man, no problem. As glad to have you for so long in the stream and really enjoyed having our lengthy conversations. But yeah, you take care, get some rest, and hopefully look forward to seeing you in some future streams after this one. Even though you won't be here to see it, just know in your mind that Nito is without a doubt dead this time. You never actually killed me. I just ran out of heals. Ran out of heals each time. Yep, see ya. Alright, well, anyone who remains, we're nearing Nito's arena once more. He has not actually killed us. Really isn't that much of a threat. We just need enough heals to take him out. We've only used one heal so far in our run back to him this time. Yeah, with 19 remaining, or even if we had 15, that is plenty. Nito really isn't that difficult, which is why when I would get to low health, I could pretty easily find a safe place to Homeward Bone back. It's really just more of a lengthier battle, a battle of being able to conserve your health. Send Phantom Leroy back home. Get back to Nito. We used exactly 5 Estus. Holy shit, I was not expecting that. Still can't believe we got this Black Knight Halberd. Fuck! Oh, please don't die. Oh my fucking god, of course! Of course, this is when we die. Fuck you, Nito. Fuck off. You son of a bastard. That's the first time he's really spammed that that move, the whatever it is that comes out of the ground. Fuck. And then this guy's gonna kill me now. Probably should have healed before jumping down there, but I didn't think. Didn't know how far that was. Oh my fuck. This has got to be the most times I've died in a sitting, in one sitting of Dark Souls. We are 3.5 hours into this stream. Alright. Let's get back to it. I just realized that I failed. I failed to keep my promise that I would defeat Nito this time. Which kind of makes me sad. How well all the other fights went. Well, like I was saying, Nito really is not that difficult of a boss fight. It's more of a battle of attrition, I think, is what you would call it. It's a battle of being able to conserve your health, but that time, yeah, that time he just spammed his long range attack, and it just was able to take me out pretty quickly. We really should be able to take him out this time, though. And if we had a fully upgraded Black Knight Halberd, we absolutely would have, we would annihilate him with a fully upgraded Black Knight Halberd. It's crazy. I know it's a powerful weapon, but I did not remember that its base damage is the same as like a +9 Zweihandler, which is the other weapon. This is my backup weapon that I use in case I don't get a Black Knight Halberd. Yeah, so I was saying in the other stream how every important time that I play this game, I always get the Halberd. So my first ever time fully beating the game, then when my brother was watching me, then I played it on Switch, which was like, you know, my first time playing it on a handheld. Then I streamed this game a long time ago. I never finished that playthrough, but we got the Black Knight Halberd at the beginning of the game on that playthrough too. Even though we got the Black Knight Halberd in this playthrough far, far later in the game, we still got it before the ending of the game. Like, we still have things left to do in this game, aside from just win. So, technically, I've still gotten it on every single important stream. Or important playthrough of this game that I've done, because this counts. I will count this. Okay, this will be the time. He's not even strong. It's his skeletons. Holy shit, his skeletons are powerful. All right, go ahead and kill him, Nito. Please kill them, Nito. Taking too long, buddy. Good job. Yes, here we go. Hit me too, but... go around in a circle. I think when you get too far is when he starts using, for obvious reasons, using the long range attack. Yes, gonna get a bunch of hits in here. Should be able to get a bunch of hits in here too, because he just killed all the skeletons again. Missed that one. Alright, let's get out of here. Just over halfway dead. Okay, we need to heal. Heal up. Yeah, we really needed that kindling. But we made it about this far with just humanities at one time. And this, I love the misses from my man Nito. Grave Lord Nito. He's dead. Okay. 3 lords down, and only one more remains. You only have the 4 kings left to take out. Man, we got pretty far. Got pretty far in this stream. We don't have far to go. I think I'm going to save all these souls, though, to level up the Black Knight Halberd. I'm going to go ahead and travel to the Undead Parish. I don't remember what kind of shards I need to upgrade it. We're going to find out. I don't remember whether or not it's special shards that we need, Titanite shards. But I know it can only go up to +5. This guy even, yeah, hold on. Pretty sure Andre can upgrade it. Yeah, he definitely can. Twinkling Titanite. We definitely have a bunch of Twinkling Titanite. So I think we can just fully upgrade it right now. Almost. We needed 2 more. I don't remember if the giant blacksmith sells Twinkling Titanite or not, but the current strength of the halberd is definitely plenty to get us through the rest of the game. 343 damage. That's 100 more. That's just about 100 more than the Swihandler +9. That is crazy powerful. Perfect. Well, we really made it we knocked out another big chunk of the game. All we have left is the new Londo Ruins, and then Gwyn. Could go to the DLC and some other areas, but I think we're just going to, with this being a casual playthrough, don't really feel like going to those areas. I don't really feel like going to the DLC. We may take out the Hydra, but aside from that, probably just do the new Londo Ruins and then Gwyn. So I'm also not really that familiar with the DLC. I've only played through it once. So anyway, I think we're going to end the stream here. I originally did want to beat the game in the stream, and I definitely could. But since our main man of the stream left, I think I will save that for next stream and end this one here. We took out 3 lords, got a new follower, and had some fantastic conversations with him, and yeah, it was all around a great time, because I always just enjoy playing this game in general anyway. And doing it when I actually have a purpose for it, other than just playing it, replaying it, just for the hell of it by myself. But doing it for a stream, I guess, makes it feel more purposeful than if I was just playing it for the 1000th time alone. So yeah, definitely was a fantastic stream, really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next one. Thanks for everyone who joined.